everyone. I'm Angelica and welcome to Angelica's Journal. I hope everybody's doing well today. I'm so excited when I looked outside. It's so sunny and bright, like the snow is reflecting the sun and it's making it even brighter. Like, I'm so excited, gardening season's coming, like outdoor gardening. Um, March 20th is the first day of spring. It's just a few days away. Anyways, today's video is when I did my houseplant video. I thought I had covered all my houseplants, and I completely forgot about this guy. This is my aloe vera, and it was in the kitchen, and it is in a jar of water. It was spreading out too much, and I had it on the coffee table and it got knocked over. So I decided to root it. It also had a couple of pups. There are the pups. But one thing I'm finding out is you shouldn't leave them in water too long because they don't like water. And if you look at that, there's a lot of kind of like mold, and not mold, but like fungusy stuff, like those brown roots. My understanding is white roots are healthy, brown ones are not, but there is, I don't know if you can tell, there is a white root in there. And then the same with this one. It's very slimy, but it does have a little root. Where am I here? Where am I going? All right, here we go. Well, maybe I should put my hand behind it like people do. Can you see that little white root there? So the white roots are the healthy ones. And my understanding is anything that's dark brown or black is not healthy. And this one's actually falling even off, like it's just hanging. And then if you look at the tips, it does not look very happy. Now, what I learned about aloe vera during my research, and you know everything I talk about, I like to do research on. I found out that you're supposed to, when you cut it off of its mom, or when you're rooting one, you're supposed to let it sit on the counter in bright light and just let it get a callus on it. That way there's less chance of root rot, which I did not know that. So I am going to have to plant this today in soil. So my research, I found out it's native to the Arabian Peninsula. There are over 300 varieties. They do prefer bright indirect sun, west or south, but the south being a little bit away from the window. Water sparingly. Don't let it sit in water. It is this, the aloe vera, the more common way of people killing them is by over watering. Or letting it sit in water. It does not like the moisture. Arabian Peninsula is pretty much the desert. So, yeah, that's a no-no. It doesn't need added humidity because, again, its native environment is like the desert. So it does not need a lot of humidity. You are supposed to plant it in a terracotta pot. I had it in it was plastic. It was one of those green plastic planters I have. And you're not supposed to because you want it to dry out. And you're supposed to use a cactus soil, which I did buy one for this reason. I've always used houseplant potting soil for everything. And Yeah, it seems like some of my plants aren't happy. Um, it does not need to be fertilized often. Once a year is more than enough at half strength. You can water it all through spring and summer if you want, but remember, only half strength. And during the fall and winter, you're not supposed to give it any because it's supposed to rest. Um, yeah. And it has been known to produce spikes which have flowers on them, but in the house environment, it's less likely to happen because it needs perfect environment for it to happen. So, out in the wild, they do bloom. In the house, you can try, but don't be disappointed when it doesn't happen. Um, what else does it say? The spikes. They do produce pups, which are the little babies. They're called pups. I think there's a couple other words they use for it too. It says remove it where it's attached to the mom. Let the wound dry for a few days to allow callus to form. And then plant it. But when you plant it, do not water it right away. It says wait a week before you water it. So you're basically putting it in soil and then putting it wherever you want it and wait a week. Then you start watering. When you do water, it likes a deep watering. And so after about 10-15 minutes, you take the pot out of the tray it's in and drain all the excess water and then put it back on the tray. And then just leave it for like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. Don't even worry about it. It is top heavy. So you do want heavy pots. You want rocks. You want ceramics, terracotta. It needs the lower weight because it's top heavy. It will offset it so it won't tip over. The leaves, the lower leaves can be removed, and then you slice it horizontally and you squeeze out all the juice. And I don't mean juice as in drinking. This is toxic to humans and pets, so you do not want to consume the juice. Yes, there's aloe vera juice out there, but they're processed so that they know what they're doing. But if you do collect the juice, it does help with scrapes, burns, bites, and cold sores. The insects that can attack it are mealybugs, aloe mites, and scale. Common diseases, number one is root rot. And then there's something called soft rot, fungal stem rot, and leaf rot. So in order to prevent all these different rots, just don't water it too much. All right, so I only put it in this to show you, but it is actually in a tall glass, cut flower vase. And then I'm going to be planting it in this. I think the roots will be fine, but depending on how much it grows, whether the roots come out the bottom, I may have to switch this out for a bigger clay pot. This is the biggest one I have. So that'll have to do for now. And then in here I have a ceramic, this was a pasta set that I had, but it only had 4 of these bowls, and we're a pretty big family, so and I just didn't use it. I don't even know what I would use this for. So I decided to use it for my plants. It's brown, it's neutral, it's garden. So that's in the bottom. And then this Terra pot is my daughter's. And it does have a hole in the bottom. Our big ficus used to be in this one. So what we're going to do is, because it's extremely heavy, we are going to use this. And we're going to put this back in. And then I do have some rocks that I used to have for the garden, because I have those round floating water fountains. And this was just for storage. I don't usually have this many, but it's for the birds to get water, because I do give food and water to the birds all summer, because they get rid of my insects that I don't like in my garden. But we're going to use these rocks. I can always get more come summer, spring, summer. We're going to use these to fill in all around the sides. So I'm going to start putting that in here. Fill in all around. Sorry for all the clanking. But we want this as heavy as possible. And it'll also keep the dish centered in there, so it's not going to lean more to one side. And then once I've got the first row of flat ones all around, there, I could put a couple more. And then I'll do a second row of smaller ones. All these little ones can go. We're just trying to weigh it down, because if the aloe vera tips, like this is not going to hold the aloe vera down because it's not planted in these rocks, but it will give the pot more weight. So if it falls to the side of the pot, it's not going to cause the pot to go over. Yes, it is ceramic, pretty heavy, but rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather have extra than not enough. All right, I think that's pretty good. And yes, if I overwater it and that tray has water in it, I will not be able to take that plate out to drain it. But I figure what I could do is either put something under the clay pot so it's not sitting in that water, but the moisture will still be there and it will evaporate, because I don't water it a whole lot. I will water it, wait, don't see anything, water some more. So it never really accumulates a lot in there. And worst scenario, I can just use paper towel to absorb it, or a kitchen washcloth, a towel, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, it might be a little extra work, but I'm okay with that. All right, so now that is prepared. I'm going to go put it in the window where it's going to stay, and we will go ahead and pot it up. I'll be right back. All right, so this is the potting soil. It says cactus, palm, and succulent. I do have my palm. I got to repot too. So I bought that. And what I do, oh, I forgot to put scissors here. I will put a certain amount in a bowl. And then I've got my scoop. And I'll do it, and then whatever's left, I'll just put back in here. It's easier than digging in a bag, and I like things easy. I don't mind the extra work, but I like easy. So let me go grab those scissors. Do I have any in my... Yep, I had one in my seed planting bucket there. All right, let's cut her open. And I do have clips, so when I'm done with this, I will roll up the top and put clips because the greenhouses have little holes in it to breathe. But if it falls over, I don't want soil all over. So I will clip the top shut when I'm done. All right, that should be good. And you know what? Yeah, this is pretty dry. Now, I know it's succulent cactus, so it's supposed to be dry. But I am going to take, my water sprayer and just give it a little bit. I know they say not to water it, but I haven't been following the rules so far anyways. Right? It's not going to kill it. It's going to add a little moisture to the soil. There we go. Not a whole lot. Like, it's not soaking wet. It's still like it's not even holding together. So it was just a little extra. I worry about my baby. All right. Now we're gonna pick her up. We're gonna grab all the stems. Oh, and then these straws I had put in here was to protect it from the jar because it was pushing up against the jar. And I figured these straws are pretty soft. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like hard like glass. So I thought it would give it a little bit of cushioning. And that's the only reason why the straws are there. I wanted to kind of, but I'm sure the leaves, also it kept the leaves up, right? It kept the leaves standing up that way too. Oh, look at the root system. Oh, some of it's going black. Like if you look at the root system, you see some of it is going black, but there is white. So my understanding is the white or cream colored roots are healthy. The black ones are starting to rot. So this was definitely time to plant it. And if you look at the lower stems here, you can tell I've already harvested a few because the plant was actually up to here. What's that white? Oh no, that's just, okay. So the plant was actually planted up to here. But I had harvested some leaves already. And so it just dries up. It's fine. All right, so now I want to plant this as deep as possible because I don't want these leaves to come out too much because that's what happened last time and it got bumped and got knocked over. So I would prefer if I could somehow keep it somewhat upright. If I have it like this, that pot is not going to hold the leaves, but if I have it a little lower, I'm going to try that and then we'll see. If the roots end up coming out, like I said, I'll have to get a bigger pot and then I'll just redo it then. There, 1 scoop. Kind of make a hole in the middle. I don't know if you can see that. And then we're going to put this guy in. I'll go this way. Try and have the stem in the middle. And then I hope this is enough soil. Yeah, it should be. If not, I can always add a little bit more. Now they say not to bury it higher than its crown, but since I removed some of the leaves, the crown, like in my opinion, because it grows leaves like that, in my opinion, the crown actually becomes higher because I had removed the lower leaves. So I'm wondering, can it not produce roots at the higher level? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Either I was a very good judge of how much my plant pot needs of soil, or where's my little scoop? Here it is. My little bamboo scoop. Or when you want to scoop smaller amounts. There we go. Just fill in the little divots. All right, level it out. And after a couple of waterings, I may need to top it up. But I think when I top it up, I like using worm castings. I only put it in, like most of my plants, once a year when I do it in the garden. So if I do have to top it up, I could use a little bit over there. If I do have to top it up, I might do that. Worm castings with some more soil. Oh, and the reason why I put more soil in here is because I got to do the pups. So I figure I'm going to need more soil anyways. So let's just put some more in here and finish this one off. All right, I think that's enough soil. Okay, so today is Thursday, so next Thursday I will give it a good dousing of water. And then it'll be good for like a month. All right, let me put this one away. And don't forget, if it gets heavy on one side, like let's say on one side the branches are lying down but not on the other side, you can turn it because it will point towards the light or away from the light depending on what it wants. And so if it does one side have nothing and the other side is, they're all leaning that way, just turn it around. So these straws I will throw in the garbage now because they're all yucky. Definitely not going to be using those again. All right, so now for my little pups. Oh, we're already at 25 minutes. All right, little pups. Since they barely have a root system, we can just scoop up the soil. These are going to go quick. And then I'll use the scissors, push it down a bit, and make a hole. And I might put these under the grow light just to let it be for a bit. I'm going to leave this branch. Oh, look at that. It has a teensy little, I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. It looks like a tiny itty bitty little root. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, right here on the side. So you know what? I'm going to put the big guy in this one. There. And then this guy will go in here. Oh, it needs to go pretty deep, unless I just cut that off. Mind you, it's still pretty hard. It's not completely rotted. You know what? I'm just going to plant the whole thing. It may be at an angle because I want to cover that one root that's higher up. And then this guy, I'll just plant in here also. There. And then we'll just top her up. We're just going to leave it for a week. And then we'll water them. And since these two little ones are going under the lights, I don't need a tray for it because I have those big seed trays. So I'll just put it with my seeds. And there we go. And this is the tag. I guess I'll put it in this one because there's room. And there we go. Planted my aloe vera. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, got to be a little closer. Nope, a little closer this way. Okay. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you for visiting. Like and subscribe and share it with another plant lover. And remember, do what makes you happy and everything else will fall into place. See you on the next one. Bye for now.